How do you do, Buckaroos? That little delayed start there. Hey, how the heck are you? So here's another one that I've been sitting on for just about a year. The other video was about mid-January of this year on them, and somehow they kind of got forgot about. I just happened to come across the Kinsale FES, the Cocoa CowTao, Chocolate Milk Stout, and the Shoto Joe Coffee Stout. So I thought, well, what the heck? Let's drink them, by golly. So from their website, it's 5.2%, 30 IBUs. They say colors, hops are tradition, malts are pale ale, caramel, and roasted malt. Okay, so there you go. Pale ale, caramel, and roasted malt for this chocolate milk stout. So let's try it, shall we? I didn't really notice. Memories can play tricks on you, but the year old FES tasted just fine to me. So I'm not expecting anything to go horrendously wrong with this chocolate milk stout either. Notes are that of nice roasted malts, just a hint of sweetness. By golly, tastes like a chocolate milk stout. Not as sweet as most chocolate milk stouts, actually. More dark chocolate. Many chocolate milk stouts are a little sweeter. They tend to mimic flavors of milk chocolate rather than dark chocolate. This one feels a little darker. Carbonation is nice. It's very crisp, very clean. It's a nice chocolate milk stout. It's only 5.2, I believe I said. So, I mean, it's certainly a very drinkable one. Ah, it's very, very interesting. Yeah, it's nice. I don't know that it's changed over the year. I mean, I think if somebody just handed this to me, I don't know if I could pick out right away that boy. By golly, I think you gave me a year-old beer. I mean, it tastes fine. Of course, without having a fresh one right next to it, I can't make the statement that it hasn't changed at all. But if it has changed, it hasn't changed any for the worse. No, I don't know that it's changed any for the better either. It just tastes fine to me. How about that? I'm playing around with backdrops. I've been getting kind of creative. There you go. There's my trout back. Oh, wow. The little cabin my wife and I stayed at a few months back. Sometimes I like to play around with different backgrounds. I've been using a lot of fireplaces lately and, kind of wintry Christmas themed stuff. I just remembered I had this one. I don't think I'd used it yet, so I thought I'd just throw it out there, man. I like to. You never know unless you try, huh? Oh. I'm a fan of stouts, especially this time of year. I like all stouts. So I am probably the biggest fan of a dry stout. I really like FES, the FES stouts or FES. For an export style stout, or for an extra stout, or for an extra style stout, I guess. However you would categorize that. I do like some imperials. It depends. They tend to be bigger in ABV, no doubt. Um, they typically can run anywhere between 8 and 11, sometimes higher. But they sometimes get a little sweet for me. That's why I really like the FES. It's not as sweet, and they can be from 7 to 8%. Typically, I've had some a little higher on the ABV end, but they typically run between that 7 to 8% range. I do like an imperial stout though. Anything aged in a bourbon barrel works for me, man. I do. I think if you take that big imperial stout, which again for me they tend to be a little sweet. You put it in a bourbon barrel, and it tends to round out that sweetness with those bourbon notes, and again those oak notes. Those tannins tend to mellow out that sweetness for me. So if I have an imperial stout, my favorites are those that are barrel aged. Although there are some that I like on their own merits. I mean, of course, Old Rasputin is great, but again, the bourbon for barrel Old Rasputin. is, as good as any of the style. If not, I mean, it's certainly one of the best in my opinion. It's certainly better than that macro that's masquerading as a craft that everybody wants to stand in line for. Well, excuse me. Mm. Oh, to the best of my knowledge, Urban Chestnut, as far as I know, hasn't done a bourbon barrel anything yet. But they don't tend to go too far out of the box yet. But what they do is make doo doo. Tommy, you said doo doo. What they do is make solid beers, man. I don't know what I'm gonna say, and then it comes out and said doo doo. But they make solid beers. They're both tap rooms. I'm a big fan of the Midtown, the original tap room. I like it. It's a nice kind of cozy tap room, and they have this great big outside beer garden, which is great during the spring and summer. But their Grove location is awesome because it's just big, it's wide open, meant to look or resemble a traditional German beer hall. Now, I've never been to Germany, so I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that's exactly what it resembles, but that's what it feels like to me, man. So I just like the place. I've been there a few times, and I just like it a lot. And like a lot of tap rooms, like most, I guess. They have beers there at the tap rooms that they don't bottle or might not be anywhere else. And that's why I love going to brewery tap rooms when you can have that one thing that's not anywhere else but that place. Oh yeah, baby, that's what Daddy like. So there you go. I don't know if they're going to make this again. I don't know if it's coming out again for the winter. I hope so. It's a great beer. So if you can find it, hell, even a year old one. If you've got a year old one sitting in your market, I think it's going to be fine because mine is. I am Tone the Beer Whisperer. Accept no imitations. I approve this message, man.